I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and it's time to get wealthy. You're going to learn exactly what you need to know and do to finally achieve the level of financial success you desire and you deserve. Black women entrepreneurs are becoming entrepreneurs at a fast rate. In fact, the Harvard Business Review recently did a study and found that Black women are starting businesses 4 times the rate of white males. Now, making the leap from employee to owner really takes a lot of courage, but also you no longer have the benefit of those cushy benefit plans. So, if you're taking the leap into business ownership, how do you make sure that you can create those same types of benefits as a business owner? Well, today you're going to meet someone who is the CEO of a multi-million dollar corporation and made sure that not only she knew how to take ownership of her financial success, but also that her employees did too. So don't go anywhere, folks, because it's time to get wealthy. So here are the 3 things they may not want you to know as a business owner. And that is, investing really is not time consuming if you have a system set up. And investing in your employees brings the greatest returns. And also, you cannot just delegate your finances. You have to be able to monitor your investment advisor's performance as well. And so today we're going to meet someone, Laurie Sales, a CEO of a multi-million dollar corporation. But she had to learn to make the shift from an employee to an owner and make sure that she was able to create the benefits that she had as an employee for herself and also her employees. She had to make sure that she increased her financial acumen. And although she became a business owner, she needed to make sure that her money was growing and that she was earning the kinds of returns that she should and securing her financial future. And I want to welcome Laurie Sales to Get Wealthy today. So Laurie, thank you for joining us on Get Wealthy.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here and quite honored. Thank you so much, Deborah, for all that you do for us that are determined to make a difference in our communities with ourselves and with our families and friends. So thank you for all of that.
So before we get into the conversation today, just about the shift you have to make from earner to owner, talk to us a little bit about just tell the audience about yourself.
Well, my name is Laurie Sales. I am the president and CEO of Civility Management Solutions, and it has opened up the doors to me to become an investor as well as a serial entrepreneur. The company I'm working and overseeing at 100%, we do government contracting. And of course, when you're dealing with the federal government with a $1 trillion budget, then the sky's the limit. It's a lot of hard work, it's diligent work, but nonetheless, we are a growing company and we've made it on the Inc. 5000 list now twice, and looking forward to continuing to be on it as we continue to grow into being up to a mid-tier size company, which is about 400 or 500 employees. That's my goal and that's my intention.
Wow, I can imagine, and I'm sure our audience is saying, whoa, your goal is to get to 400 to 500 employees. And that is a lot of responsibility. However, I would love for you to share with the audience, you didn't start as a CEO. What did you do before starting your business?
Well, I am born and raised out of Chicago, Illinois. I grew up with a low-income family, working father, and a mother that was a housewife, but we lived in the projects. And so my father being a World War II veteran, my mom decided to do what she's supposed to do, and that was find a way for us to become homeowners. So we got into a home through the VA loan process. And so after that, I started modeling professionally, and I was, going through high school, focused on making money instead of studying because I didn't see the sense of college, and my parents didn't have it. I just always thought about my survival. So I've always been a young lady, been involved with making money, including babysitting and selling candy from the house. Anything I can do to have my own pocket money so I can go to movies, go skating when I chose to go, not like mom and daddy can't afford to let me go, right? That was my mindset then. And then I joined the United States Marine Corps after I graduated from high school and spent about a year in college. And that really just took my life a whole different level. People are like, Laurie used to model, now she's in the Marine Corps. It's like, we don't really get the synergy here. Well, I got a pretty strong personality. I wanted more out of life. I wasn't happy with some of the ways and things that I got myself attached to in the city of Chicago. And I wanted to find my way out of that life as well as, getting out of my parents' home. And so the Marine Corps, 10 years I committed to, and it was the best thing for me. I was much a Marine, and as they say, once a Marine, always a Marine. Even though I've been out almost 30 years, I have to admit it's the truth. There are things about me that clearly, if you spend enough time around me, you kind of know I'm not the average girl in my communications and my thinking, but I have taken on many of the wonderful things from being in the Marine Corps. Leadership, of course, being numero uno, because they're great teachers of that. After that, I got out of here. I got out after 10 years, 7 years, and did 3 years reserves. But I wanted to be in corporate America. I didn't want to wear any more uniforms, Deborah. I was like, okay, I could be a police officer, of course. I'm a Marine, police officer, perfect. Any city, state would have wanted me. But I wanted to be a businesswoman. So I wanted to join that side of the house. So I started as a receptionist with a salary of $17,000. And when they made me the offer, I was excited. Yes, where do I sign? Even the man across from me, the recruiter, he was like, ma'am, are you sure this is going to be like, exactly what you need, the money that you need? Yes, and yes. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Where do I sign? Had no idea about negotiating, because in the military, guess what you don't get to do? You do not negotiate. You do what they tell you to do, or you do what I tell you to do, whatever rank structure may be working within. But negotiating is not something that the Marine Corps taught me. So I joined into the civilian world as a receptionist. Then after receptionist, I became a secretary, which was in that era of the secretaries, which was the 80s. And then after that, I became an admin assistant. And finally, I became an executive assistant, supporting the president and CEOs of companies. And I worked my way up into a financial position where I could at least become a homeowner. And then I became an operations director, and then I became a program manager. And finally, I think it's time for some change. Well, let me just say this. I never made six figures working for anybody. My tax returns prove it.
So you've talked a little bit about your the fact that you have been a Marine, and I mean that was just amazing. I want to get into your mindset, and you gave us a little insight into that around your parents really wanting you to be successful, but you yourself saying, "Well, I know that I should go to college." Give us a sense of what your mindset and beliefs were before you became a business owner, what your mindsets and beliefs were about money.
Well, I understood that I needed to take care of myself. My parents allowed me to operate as an independent young lady, even when I was a child. I remember being under the age of 10 and taking a bus by myself to go Christmas shopping because I wanted to surprise my parents as well as my brothers on what I would purchase for them. The fact that I even had money to go do any Christmas shopping is because I was babysitting. So my parents both allowed this very early in my age, even though my mom was a housewife. So it's not even that I'm even being prepared to be like her. And so I've always made my own money, and I've always had some type of hustle. I'm from Chicago. I've always had some means of doing that. So once I actually got to this level, before I entered into Civility Management Solutions, I got a chance to peek into federal government contracting with two employers that had hired me. And the owners were African American. And I'm thinking, what is this? What is this? And when I investigated and found out, this was the wealth transfer. being in federal government contracting. And so now that I've had all these hustles, all these other things I did, even as a young adult, I had a boot camp program. I referred people to a health and wellness store, which I still shop with today, trying to keep my youth and my anti-aging stuff going on. I mean, okay, let's be clear about that part. So, I mean, I'm taking all those skills now and I'm bringing that entrepreneurial drive and grind that I've always had to Civility Management Solutions, where there is millions that I could make in revenue. I can offer out jobs. I mean, I can give people opportunities. And that part was just so exciting. So it was really a small mind shift of entrepreneurship, but a huge mind shift of revenue and being able to manage, having financial statements and having good relationships with banks and being a great teaming partner and having the likable attitude with people, even if you didn't like them. But yet it's not the important factor. The important factor is operating in integrity and doing good work together. So those were some of the major adjustments and shifts that I've had to make in getting to where I am now, and even to continue to grow, to build upon that.
Well, it's interesting, Laurie, because you talked a couple of things, and that's really what I wanted our audience to hear, was that, that shift from earner to owner, the earner to owner mindset, that belief, you already had that hustle, that drive to know that you could create the income that you needed, right? Yes. And so the mindset from that employee mindset, where you had worked your way up, right, into operations manager, then you took the leap to owner. So you left having someone taking care of your 401k benefits and the benefits, to now having to make the shift to this owner mindset. What kind of mindset did you have to have in order to now ensure that you were able to achieve, make sure that your financial success, even as a business owner, was secure?
That's major what you're saying, because my first opportunity to hire somebody to work inside the Department of Transportation, first person, I wanted to make sure I had benefits. And I remember not one, but a couple of my mentors saying, you don't make enough money to be offering no benefits. But I couldn't wrap my head around that, because no one has ever offered me a job that I did not have some medical, dental, some type of life insurance option, even short-term disability, 401k options, whether they were matching or not. And so I took the hit of that revenue-wise in order to provide that opportunity to my very first employee of Civility Management Solutions, other than myself. And that has really been a blessing, because it's something I'm proud of. Not prideful, I'm proud of that, because I can say that I've always thought about the people. It's all about good things of making money. Everybody wants to make money. That's a big deal. We have to survive. But there's nothing like also having people on your mind as you go through that process. So the 401k was something I definitely wanted to do. And, as I asked you, can you please join me with my team and at the beginning of the year to talk to them about 401k, the importance of doing it, and why it's relevant in their lives, and no matter what level they start, but just that they need to. And we had a shift. We had a lot of people that shifted and now are part of the 401k plan that Civility Management Solutions offers. And that stuff is talent of you and me coming together, showing people and offering people something to get them to move.
That's interesting. Laurie, one of the things that I want to talk about, clearly when you told me that you're on your first employee, you offered benefits and you knew the importance of that. I want to give our viewers some insight. When you left your employers, had you invested in your 401k as well as an employee?
Yes, I did. I did. And not understanding the importance of keeping it there. I had a beautiful niece that had done extremely well in school Again, I'm from low income. And unfortunately, her parents did no preparation. I mean, none. They didn't even have money to buy her a comforter. They did no preparation for her to be accepted into a university. And I emptied out my 401k and contributed to her being able to go to school and get that experience right out of high school to be able to go to college, because that will be the first of my family to have that happen. She made some changes and routes in her life. I don't judge her for them, but she at least opened up the door of that opportunity. So yes, I'm familiar with having 401k. I even had transferred it from one job to another job, because that's what was necessary as I moved around. But I also, have learned the importance of having that money in there and keeping it in there under some guidance and mentoring and leaning in and listening to others that know more about this space than myself.
I love that. So when we come back, that's what I want to talk about is your strategy, right? So you had that employee mindset, you shifted to that owner mindset, and it certainly it wasn't a big leap for you. The fact that you were able to understand that offering the same benefits that you would have wanted as an employee to your employees was important. So when we come back, I want to talk with you a little bit about your strategy. Yes, you emptied out your 401k, but you eventually understood the necessity to grow a 401k, and then once you got into your business, to create that for your employees. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the strategies that you have used as a business owner to really take ownership of your financial success.
Let's be honest, as successful women, we're crushing it. Maxed out 401k and Roth IRA? Check. Aggressive savings and investments? Check. Yet, the freedom our success was supposed to buy can leave us stuck on the six-figure hamster wheel, watching retirement slip further down the road. There's another way. Get coaching courses and community at wealthyu.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie. We'll laugh together, cry together, pull ourselves together, and cheer each other on. So join me for new shows each Tuesday on Black Star Network, A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
Welcome back to Get Wealthy, everyone. I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and today we're talking about making the shift from earner to owner. How do you secure your future as a business owner and make sure that those same benefits that you may have left from leaving a corporation, you create in your new business? In fact, Black women are one of the fastest growing segments of business owners, but it is important to ensure your financial security. So we're having a conversation with Laurie Sales, CEO of Civility Management Solutions, a multi-million-dollar management consulting firm. And Laurie, thank you so much for sharing your story. And, I love your transparency. I mean, how many people would say, well, yeah, I made some mistakes. Mm-hmm. And so what I would say, what I want to talk to you about is, okay, what did you learn, and just in terms of strategy, what did you learn from that experience that you now knew you had to take a different approach?
Well, I mean, the fact that I can now go from, wow, I had X amount of dollars sitting here and now it's not there anymore. And to know that maybe 10, 15 years have now gone by and I had not reestablished that. Why? Because I was so busy hustling and bustling and just trying to get this business off the ground. Because government contracting is not an easy place. So it was not so much regretful, but it was a lesson learned that when that time comes that I'm able to be financially in a position to have a 401k for security management solutions, that I will never, ever mistreat it the way I did before and not think about, maybe I should have took some of the money, but instead, no, let's just go all in and help somebody. And yet, in the end, for myself, when you think about you and your future life, you got to make that important, Laurie. Thinking about others is good, but you got to do better thinking about yourself. And that is something I can say I've grown and matured in, where I think about me now. I do. And I do.
Well, I love that because, I have very frank conversations with the women in Wealthy You about the fact that you don't understand that you are not helping people when you rescue them. That oftentimes that can be arrested development, right? And arrest your own future success, because when you rescue people, you can become an enabler, right? And so people don't really learn the lesson, nor do they value the hard work that it took for you to accumulate those assets in your 401k because it was given to them. But what I also love that you said was that you didn't look back in the land of financial regret, because that's not where you're going. And so since that, what I want, and just in terms of strategy now, so you start this business, that so much of it in the early stages is really growing a business. I'm an entrepreneur, and I can say that it takes 5 years to really make a profit, right? Like you are putting so much back into the business. You're doing things like offering a 401k plan or benefits to your employees. So what was the strategy that you employed to not only secure your employees' futures and offer those benefits, but also your own? So how did you find someone to establish a 401k plan for your business?
Well, for one, you have to keep your eyes and ears open, because you can ask for things, you can pray for things, you can meditate on things, but you have to be aware of what's going on around you. And I have been fortunate enough to have a couple of more than a couple of mentors in my life, but they all got different positions in there. And then I found Deborah Owens, Land of the Wealthy You, and what you were offering, even though I knew you from the past, from different areas of just kind of sitting around in some events, and you spoke. So I knew that, talking about wealth and talking about building a 401k plan and protecting your life and your family was part of what you were all about. But now this Wealthy You was like an eye opener for me, and I jumped right in, and I began to study up what was necessary. And I have not been able to participate at the high level I did initially, because I needed enough information, because I know what I'm trying to accomplish. I need enough information to now implement and execute and get the ball rolling. And I had my sessions with you, I sat with you, and through that, I learned about putting my money where it needs to be based off of a guideline, not depending on anyone else, but my own study, my own review, my own analysis. And I got to tell you, I did pretty good in my first year. I ain't hating at all. I did really, really good. I'm like 30 to 40% of an increase there about comparison to what I gave and how much my balance is. I'm like, ooh, this is looking really nice. So, I mean, that means I really did make some smart decisions based off of my own evaluations.
Well, you know what? When we come back to Laurie, that's exactly what I want to talk about is that, it's one thing to have a strategy, but it's another thing to execute. And so when we
Yes.
come back, I want to talk about your execution. So you went and got knowledge, right, about
Mhm.
what you needed to do. And when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about how you executed on your strategies of really accelerating your financial growth and achieving that type of performance. I mean, you just made my heart sing just talking about what you actually accomplished. So when we come back, we're going to get right into strategy. So folks, we're going to get right back into execution. Mindset. She talked about how, as a young girl, she learned how to make money from babysitting and taking ownership of her success. And then her strategy, just really understanding that not only she had an advantage in offering those benefits to her employees, but also for herself. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Pull up a chair, take your seat. The Black Tape with me, Dr. Greg Carr, here on the Black Star Network. Every week, we'll take a deeper dive into the world we're living in. Join the conversation only on the Black Star Network.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and it's time to get wealthy. So we've talked about mindset, we've talked about strategy, and now we're going to talk about execution. So Laurie, you shared some phenomenal results, but it's one thing to get those results. And so I want our viewers to really get some insight into your process and how you execute it. So you conveyed that, you sought out information. You knew that you needed to know more.
Yes.
And so just give us a sense of, you had established a 401k, but what made you feel like that you should be doing better?
Well, because we throw X amount of percentage or a certain fixed amount into an account, and you may watch it, you may not watch it, but at the same time, you really have no idea of what is going on. And that's very common in our community. I can't even say out of all, and I'm well loved, out of all of my friends, and the family that I have, we don't talk about this stuff. It don't come up in any conversations for me to learn any nuggets regarding that. So I had to seek out some mentorship in it. But at the same time, when I learned that there are I think 12 steps that you have to take to really determine whether or not that's the area you should be investing in, you're now being bought into what you're doing. It's not just you taking a fixed amount or percentage and putting it in an account. You are really actively engaging in the whole process. So now your curiosity is there about, how well am I doing? Did I make good choices? Were these good decisions? Do I need to change something? And I can tell you over the year, just watching the monthly emails that come to me to tell me about my increase, And even when it went down to a decrease, understanding that that's just part of the process. I didn't run. I didn't change anything. I just kept the course of giving fully the amount that I was able to give at my age and watching it really duplicate itself in profit. And let me just throw this part in there. It wasn't just about the 401k. It was the mentoring that I got that led me to Stash. It led me to Fidelity. It led me to savings accounts that have higher yields on it, where I can just take money and throw it in different areas and, like you say, somewhat forget about it, but just check on it every once in a while to make sure it's doing what it needs to do. So my strategy went beyond the 401k with my investing. I do cryptocurrency. You know, it's another area that I'm so happy to have you all engaging in everything within Wealthy You and discussing. And because all of these are areas where we can invest our monies as a strategy in order to obtain wealth, so that we can not be a blessing just for ourselves, but also a blessing for others. I even got foreign exchange. I have actual gold. I have actual silver that come to my house every month. But being around like-minded women and learning about these different offerings opens up the opportunity for us to not take our money to the store for a new pair of shoes and a new bag. When you know that there are all these other places. I've even invested in startup companies through the Seed Invest and Start Engine, and watching them establish and grow and get many more investors. So I'm like, okay, I made a good decision there. So it is about not just executing, but following up and looking and reviewing and adjusting accordingly to what's going on in the market overall.
I love it. And because here's the other point that why I wanted to have this conversation with you, Laurie, because I think that so often women or people at your level who have established businesses, and you're a CEO, and the thing that I hear most often about why people feel like they can't make the investment you did in increasing your knowledge, financial acumen, learning how to analyze and research your portfolio is they don't have enough time. So just in terms of strategy, talk to us a little bit about what is your process for staying on top of things, even though I know you travel all over the world, you do a lot of things, right? So what's your process for time management of your investments and portfolio?
You know, a lot of churches have been just so happy that Zoom and virtuals are available to us before COVID hit and allowed us to have access. Well, the same would apply when it comes to me building my financial acumen. I am so grateful that people are recording stuff. And now I have the advantage to go back and look and listen at my convenience, because I'm not always available and accessible. But I don't spend, and I say don't spend, I don't spend time in front of the television looking at reality shows. That's what I don't do. Don't ask me who's on television. Don't ask me about who winning in what sports, because I tell you, Deborah, my attitude is this. None of them football players have sent me a check. So why would I spend hours in front of the television looking at them make their money? I'm not doing that. I ain't got time for that. So I spend my time with listening and replaying stuff so that I can keep myself abreast of what's going on. Because many times what I hear about you is after the fact. It's not while it's live, but because it's recorded, it's live for me.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You know, and that's the whole point, that you make time for those things that you feel are important. So we talked about, you know, mindset, and you're shifting from this employee to owner mindset, and having mentors and strategy, you know, just how you were able to establish those 401ks for your family, for your employees. And then finally, you know, just the strategy, you know, how you have these different investments in different places, and you know how to maximize your return. If you could leave our audience with anything today, what words would you give to women who are really busy and feel like, you know, perhaps this is too complicated for them to comprehend and execute on?
You know, write the vision, make it plain, right? Everyone should have some type of vision board and or some type of business plan of their life. It doesn't even have to be for a business. But you need to really forecast in your head, meditate on where you see your life going, how you want your life to end, the things you want to do, and backtrack that and make sure that now the priorities is to make sure you get there, because it's not going to happen because you thought about it. You know, you have to do some work. You have to make the effort, and you might find out that there's a true passion for some things that you never imagined was a part of who you are, just because, you know, you might get into this space. Like, I love this idea of real estate. That's another area I'm investing in. I've established an LLC just for the real estate growth that my company, not my company, that company can accumulate with me being at the helm. But I got a team of people, you know, being around like-minded people. You know, I say it and I'm gonna say it now. You know, you are who you hang around. So get around people that can walk and talk this life with you, because now it becomes a part of who you are. I have a team of people. That's what's allowing me to be able to tap into all the different areas that I'm tapping into in investing as well as running businesses. But I see an end game, and my end game keeps me doing what I need to do now. And those are my priorities, because if it ain't part of my end game, and if it's not part of me getting to the other side, what am I doing it for? Now, I'm not saying don't spend social time. I'm not saying don't have no TV time. I'm just saying you need to get your priorities in check. What kind of TV time? How many hours? How much time with your girlfriends chit-chatting and they ain't talking about nothing? You need to just fix that. Get around people like me. Yeah, I love to chit-chat. I love to socialize, and I get mine in. I love fine dining. Yes, I do, with a bottle of champagne or something, and good old steak and some Merlot. But at the table, we talking about something that's good, and or I'm feeding myself through my headphones while I'm having my dinner. Some people I know, they like, that girl sitting over there all by herself, but I'm engaged. I'm sitting there with wealthy you in front of me while I'm enjoying my steak. What?
I love it. I love it. Laurie, I am, you know, first of all, I want to thank you for coming on Get Wealthy and sharing and being so transparent, because that's really what this show is about. Really sharing that, you know, we all have, it's not where we start. We don't have to look back at regrets. You know, you're from the Midwest Chicago. I'm from Detroit. You know, you're looking at us now, but you know, that's not how we always were. And that it is a journey. So Laurie, thank you so much for coming on Get Wealthy and sharing.
Oh, no, thank you. It was an honor. And I can tell you, you know, just keep doing what you're doing, because it's well needed. And I am so appreciative that I'm a part of your tribe.
Oh, well, I love that. I love you. Thank you so much for coming on Get Wealthy. And when we come back, we're going to break down exactly what Laurie did. Analyze, optimize, and maximize to achieve the kind of results that she's been able to achieve. So don't go anywhere, folks. When we come back, analyze, optimize, and maximize. I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and my new show, Get Wealthy, focuses on the things that your financial advisor and bank isn't telling you, but you absolutely need to know. So watch Get Wealthy on the Black Star Network. I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and we've been getting wealthy. Amazing, amazing story. So what did we learn from Laurie? How did she analyze, optimize, and maximize to achieve the kind of results that she did? So let's talk about analyze. One of the things that Laurie had to do was to really take a look at, now that she is a business owner, how could she create those same kind of opportunities that she had as an employee? And, you know, the truth is, she knew that offering benefits in a 401k, not only for herself, but for her employees, was a great benefit. But what did she need to do to make sure that even as a business owner, that she was securing her own personal financial future, not just growing her business? Well, you heard her. She set up all different types of accounts. She sought out help. She made sure that the kinds of returns she was earning on her investments could create that wealth that she wanted for herself in the future. And then finally, maximizing. And here's, even though she's a CEO running a multi-million-dollar business, she knew that she had to create a team. So it's not just the responsibility on herself, that she had the type of people that could provide her with the knowledge that she needed to not only accomplish professional success with her business as a business owner, but also her own personal financial success. So analyze, optimize, maximize. If Laurie can do it, you can do it too. And when we come back, I'm going to share the 3 takeaways, the three things you should know from this Get Wealthy episode.
We're all impacted by the culture, whether we know it or not. From politics to music and entertainment, it's a huge part of our lives, and we're going to talk about it every day right here on The Culture with me, Faraji Muhammad, only on the Black Star Network.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and it's time to get wealthy. Hopefully, you've gotten some insight on how you can get wealthier. So here are the 3 things you need to know from today's show. And I think Laurie said it. And the fact is, you have to become the CEO of your finances. You have to make your finances a priority and really how to learn how to grow wealth and increase your financial acumen. And you want to make sure that if you are an employee, that you're taking advantage of all the kind of financial wellness programs that your employer may provide. And then finally, in order to really achieve financial success, whether you're a business owner or an employee, you've got to create a wealthy system and make it systematic and make sure that you're contributing to all your plans and that you have an account set up for every one of your goals. Because if you do that, you're going to achieve the level of financial success you desire and you deserve. I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach. Thanks for joining me on Get Wealthy.